Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Tens of thousands of people across Eastern Kentucky are spending a second night in the dark, and tonight it's much colder. It's been 24 hours since last night's wind, at times near hurricane force, caused havoc. While power was restored for some today, it could be days before the lights are back on for everyone. Take a look at the Kentucky Power outage map. All of those dots represent areas without power. There are still nearly 43,000 people without electricity scattered throughout the mountains, but more than half the outages are in Perry and Pike counties. There have been long lines in Perry County tonight at the drive-thrus and gas stations that have power. But more help is arriving. Kentucky Power posted this picture on Facebook tonight. It shows crews from Indiana and Michigan arriving in Kentucky. They will make their way to the Pikeville and Hazard areas tomorrow morning to help 500 people already working to restore power. So how much will folks have to bundle up tonight if they're in the dark? Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel has our first look at the forecast. Paige?
Well, Steve, it's going to get pretty chilly tonight, but hopefully we can get a lot of power restored tomorrow, because tomorrow night it's going to be a little bit worse. But this time yesterday we were tracking those storms and this view was just pitch black. So it's good to see some power now being restored to Hazard, and hopefully some of those restaurants across the street from here will be open tomorrow. More than likely they will, because us here at YMT are getting hungry. Looking over along Interstate 75 into Mount Vernon, they've saw that power and now it's getting pretty quiet and chilly, but we're hanging on to a few of those clouds as we head into tonight, but at least we're not having to deal with that rain. Of course, keep an eye on those flood warnings down along the Cumberland River, as the Cumberland River is expected to get to minor flood stage in Pineville, Barberville, and Williamsburg. Those are really the only three areas. This is through Tuesday morning, so by tomorrow afternoon, hopefully we'll start to see those waters go down. But temperatures right now into those lower 40s, and it's a little bit on the warmer side due to the cloud cover we're seeing, but temperatures will continue to drop throughout the night tonight, and especially as we head into tomorrow, and then tomorrow night it's really going to be that chilly night. I'll have tomorrow's forecast and a little bit of that rain coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you very much. Several companies continue to work to restore power to people sitting at home, in many cases quarantined. Allison Barker with Kentucky Power says people need to focus on their safety.
Don't want people to get hurt in this situation, so just assume any line is logged and report it, and we'll get to it as quickly and as safely as we can.
More than 10,000 Kentucky Power customers have seen their power restored since last night. Perry County may have some of the most widespread damage. Focusing in on the Lothair community, houses were knocked off their foundation, roofs were ripped off homes, and trees and debris are down everywhere. Some were out repairing their homes while others were still assessing the damage. One man who was in his home when it was knocked off the foundation said he felt the wind pick the home up, moving it about 2 feet.
The way that it was rocking back and forth, I thought for a minute we would turn over, but instead the winds just picked it up, moved it over, and set it back down.
There were no injuries reported in Perry County as a result of storm damage. A firefighter in Pike County is in the hospital after being hit by a vehicle while clearing the roadway during last night's storms. Jimmy Belcher was moving a fallen tree in Farrells Creek when officials say he was hit by another volunteer firefighter on his way to a call. He was taken to Pikeville Medical Center for severe injuries. Marrowbone Fire Department President Robert Atkins says the community is rallying behind Belcher in prayer.
We put our faith and trust in God, and we're praying that the Lord reaches down and heals his body without any further surgeries or anything that has to be done to him.
A few hours ago, Atkins posted an update on Facebook saying Belcher is being taken off the ventilator and seems to be semi-responsive. Leslie County also had storm damage, but the city of Hyden had more to worry about. The Middle Fork of the Kentucky River flooded Riverfront Park just days after they finished cleaning up from flooding back in February. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to the mayor about having to start all over yet again.
After months of flood cleanup, We thought we were pretty safe from floods until this happened.
Mayor Carol Joseph finds herself surrounded by floodwaters in Riverfront Park yet again.
It was disappointing on account of that we had just paid to get all the debris cleaned up from the last flood, and we're going to start working on it this week to prepare for our summer programs when the quarantine's over.
Joseph heard the wind Sunday night and thought she would wake up to major wind damage, but she never thought she would see this.
I worried about everybody in town, but I had no idea we would have a flood when I get up this morning.
After the flood in February, they filed with FEMA, but they are still waiting for a judgment.
We were in the process of getting estimates and finding out how much it would cost, and then some of the work we can do ourselves, and we were prepared to start doing that. We were actually going to start this week, but now we won't be able to.
Thankfully, the only cleanup they completed was clearing debris and mud. They had not started sanitizing or repainting.
The virus kept us from repainting and doing all the things we had to do to get the park ready to go, so it didn't ruin all that again. So we just have to start over, and we have hope.
Staying positive through this bitter blow. In Hyden, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
The park has been closed since the February flood and is now closed due to COVID-19. Joseph hopes to be able to sanitize and repaint soon to have the park open this summer. In Pike County, the East Kentucky Marina took a heavy hit from the storms. Owner Teresa Thomas says it rolled in about 10:30 last night when the sky lit up green. The dock is in pieces all around the marina and some boats are damaged.
Just seeing it for the first time, it was rough, but luckily, I mean, we had one boat that got loose on us. We had a couple more boats that they do have some damage to them, like broken glass, roof tore off one of them. But I mean, luckily the marina took the blunt of the blow, I guess you could say.
There's not a total for the amount of damage done. Now they await the water to drop before they can start to clean up. In Letcher County, folks were also out clearing trees and power lines from roadways, but county crews were not the only ones hard at work. WYMT's I'm about to sneeze. Tommy Poole, sorry about that, has more on a family's day after the destruction.
Monday, the cleanup began and life resumed.
I'm gonna cook him something to eat. We made a little coffee this morning, and I made it on this thing.
Donald Miller of the Haley community in Letcher County stood on his porch after losing his roof.
And then when it went kaboom, I said, there went the porch. Then come another big gush. That's when it took the rest of it off.
Miller had just replaced the roof about a month ago.
And I told the old lady last night, I said, there goes about $4,000 lost.
Like many in the mountains, the Millers spent Monday cleaning up after a scary Easter night storm.
You could hear the wind, like on top of that mountain, like a train. I opened the door, I said, well, that's wind. But now I've been here 78 years, and I ain't never seen nothing like this.
With 2 roofs and a shed gone, along with trees on vehicles, Miller said it could have been far worse.
I was afraid it was going to blow the house away, buddy. If it had lasted much longer, I believe it's old trailer to win. It's a scary time now for a while, and I'm glad it calmed down.
Now Miller sits patiently and positive while waiting for the power to come back on. In Letcher County, Tommy Poole, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Donald Miller says it is not uncommon to lose power, but this outage looks to be a little longer than usual. Another hard-hit area from storms, Floyd County. Highway 122 from McDowell to Wheelwright was shut down due to multiple power lines and poles scattered in the middle of the road. That road has since reopened, but many are still without power.
The power is going to be out through at least tonight for the majority of these folks that are currently without power. Maybe into tomorrow, maybe tomorrow afternoon. So we're telling folks you need to prepare tonight.
Williams says if your home has damage, you should contact the County Judge Executive's office. That number is 606-886-9. Well, there's a number missing. I'm not sure what the rest of the number is. We'll get that right on the website. Last night's storm caused damage to a home in Corbin. A tree fell onto a home and crashed into the roof, causing extensive damage. The family was inside the home when the tree fell. WYMT's Dakota Makris talked with the homeowner today.
A peaceful Easter Sunday night changed in an instant.
I was in my room. I had just gotten out of the shower. I was getting ready for bed, and then all of a sudden I heard boom.
When without warning, Elisa Yankin's roof caved in.
Coming here, seeing a tree through my living room.
The ceiling dropped on top of her mother and children who were resting on the couch.
My first thought was, oh my God, are my kids okay? That was my main concern. Then I was like, all right, Mom, got her out. Everything was fine. I was just blessed that everyone's okay.
And thankful her loved ones are okay.
Things that can be replaced, yeah, they're damaged, but things that couldn't be replaced, like my kids and my mom, and they're okay. So that's what was my main concern. But the house, it's fixable. Everything will be replaced.
This damaged roof is just a hint of what can be taken for granted.
We've made memories here for 6 years. So it is upsetting, but it will be fixed. But like I said, the priceless things are okay.
And so this damaged roof,
we do have a nice skylight now. That is a plus.
Won't stop the family from continuing to make those 6 years of memories into a lifetime. In Corbin, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The family filed an insurance claim and will stay in a hotel for now. The coronavirus pandemic continues to claim lives around the world and around the country. In New York alone, the number of deaths has now surpassed 10,000. CBS's Elise Preston has more.
The grim toll from the coronavirus continues to climb.
I've never seen us have an empty spot in the critical care bay, but we try to make sure that we at least have space for one more emergency that comes through our door.
Doctors and nurses in the hardest hit areas are still struggling to treat huge numbers of severely ill COVID-19 patients.
This is something we've never seen in healthcare to this capacity.
COVID-19 has devastated nursing home populations. The Associated Press says more than 3,600 residents in those facilities have died nationwide. But the virus does not always spare young, otherwise healthy people. 27-year-old Jared Lovos died last week after spending 10 days on a ventilator.
They kept saying he's strong, he's young. And then I got a call on Friday saying that his heart stopped, and my heart literally stopped.
Despite these mounting tragedies, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says progress has been made to flatten the curve.
The numbers suggest a plateauing. Whatever those numbers say is a direct result of what we do. I've said, if we do something stupid, you will see those numbers go right back up tomorrow.
Governor Cuomo said he won't consider the coronavirus crisis over until a vaccine for it has been developed and is widely available to the public. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And experts say it is likely to be at least 12 to 18 months before a coronavirus vaccine is tested and ready. Today, the state of Kentucky passed 2 benchmarks in the coronavirus outbreak, surpassing 2,000 cases and 100 deaths. 87 new cases and 7 new deaths were announced today, bringing Kentucky's totals to 2,048 cases and 104 deaths. The governor directed that flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half staff for 1 week to honor those who died. And as of the governor's news conference, 30 of those deaths stemmed from long-term care facilities. However, after the news conference, we learned of another death. One patient from Jackson Manor in Annville died after being diagnosed with COVID-19 last week. That person is just one of dozens of staff and residents at the Jackson County facility infected with the virus. Signature Healthcare, which operates the facility, says those residents are now housed in a quarantine-only unit. The mother of former Kentucky Wildcat Carl Anthony Towns has died from COVID-19. Jacqueline Towns had been battling coronavirus symptoms for more than a month. A statement from a Towns family spokesperson says the family is extremely grateful for the outpouring of love and support. Last month, Carl shared an emotional video announcing his mother was in a coma and on a ventilator. His father, Carl Sr., has since recovered from the virus.